So I am finally back from Star Wars Celebration in Japan. Apologies for the lack of content over the last week or two. I didn't plan on making much content while I was over there anyway, but as you can see, I am home now. And today I pretty much just wanted to recap Celebration as a whole, mostly to do with the gaming news. Obviously, this is a mostly gaming channel, and we actually got news on 4 different fronts, which is pretty exciting, albeit it's still fairly quiet for the rest of this year. But I essentially just wanted to recap all of that for you guys, as well as just talk about my experience at Celebration as well. Apologies if I sound funny. I am currently a little bit under the weather after the trip. I got back about 36 hours ago roughly and spent the majority of yesterday in bed. I've slept a total of like 24 hours since I got home, so I am pretty gassed. Apologies if I sound under the weather, but the grind must go on. So without wasting any time, let's get stuck right into it. Now, first and foremost, I've got to give a big thank you to Meta and ILM. For those of you who didn't know, I did post this on Twitter, but I didn't mention it on YouTube. I was lucky enough to actually be flown over to Celebration. We only found out about 3 weeks before the trip. So Meta and ILM actually flew me and my girlfriend out to Japan, which is absolutely insane. Still can't really wrap my head around it, to be completely honest, because in my head, I'm still just some random dude from Australia, so I don't get why I'm being given opportunities like that personally, but it is, yeah, very, very insane for Meta and ILM to have done that. So a big thank you to them, specifically to Zach, Tyler, Joseph, and Tiffany. If you guys are watching, you guys are the GOATs. So yeah, massive thank you to those guys for the opportunity. So getting stuck into it, like I said, there's 4 different areas in which we got some gaming news. We got the Pirates Fortune DLC trailer. There was a playable version of the new Beyond Victory VR or mixed reality experience as well. There was also the actual like proper reveal of Zero Company, which was very exciting. And then also randomly we got some Fortnite. Well, it wasn't so much randomly because it was leaked for a while, but they did show a Fortnite trailer at Celebration as well, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to run through all of that very quickly. I'll do separate videos for each of these in the coming days as well. So I'm not going to go too in depth in this video. This isn't so much a news video, more a recap of like the actual experience at Celebration. Now, in terms of the Pirates Fortune DLC for Outlaws, I actually wasn't at Celebration when that was shown. The first day I only got there about halfway through the day because me and the missus were spending the morning sort of doing a bit of Tokyo exploration ourselves. So I just saw that trailer the same way that you guys did. I just saw it pop up on my phone and went, oh, they obviously showed that at Celebration. Personally, looks really cool to me. I know Outlaws didn't hit for everyone. It didn't hit crazy good for me either, but I did enjoy it and I'm keen to jump back into that world, especially like Hondo is a classic character at this point, so very keen to experience all of that, and that will probably be the focus of the channel moving forward over the next month or so, just because obviously that is only just over 2 weeks away now from dropping. So, or actually I should say it's about 3 weeks. So I won't touch on that too much today, just because 1, I wasn't at Celebration when they showed that off, and 2, there'll be a lot of content on that in the next couple of weeks. Now, the next thing that I got to experience in terms of the gaming news was Beyond Victory, as well as actually Vader Immortal, which is obviously not a new game, but I did get to play that as well. So on the second day, which was the Saturday of Star Wars Celebration, I was lucky enough to get to go into Celebration early before doors actually opened and pretty much skip the queue to play Beyond Victory. We also got to have a little chat with the developers as well. It was literally just me, my girlfriend, and Azatru. If you guys know Azatru, we were all just in a room chatting to the devs for probably 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour. They gave us a really cool comic as well. So that was a cool experience. And then after that, we got to go and play, like I said, Beyond Victory, as well as Vader Immortal. My girlfriend got to go as well, and she had a blast playing Beyond Victory. She did better than me. So yeah, I got to cop that for the rest of the weekend, her being better than me at Beyond Victory. But it was really fun. I was actually really surprised. Now, I'm not a VR guy, or in this case, like mixed reality, not because I don't like it, just because it's a very, or at least in the past, it's been a very expensive entry point to get into VR. And it was also back in the day, I think it's gotten a lot better now, but back in the day, it was a little bit like undercooked, or obviously very new technology. So I just never really got into VR stuff. I'm not going to lie. After these experiences, I will be getting my hands on a meta quest, because I need to play Vader Immortal, and especially once Beyond Victory launches. I'm not too sure when that is, but once that launches, I actually really want to play it. And so you guys can expect to see some content on all of the Star Wars VR games in the future, as well as like news and stuff leading up to Beyond Victory. Now, like I said, I'll go into a full-on video, that'll be the next video on the channel, talking about Beyond Victory, just because that deserves its own video. But in terms of just a quick summary, I really enjoyed it. It was very fun. It was very different to what I kind of expected, you know, a few weeks ago when we got the announcement. It's more of like a tabletop pod racer game. It's kind of hard to explain, but like I said, I'll go in depth in a full video tomorrow or over the coming days. Definitely a unique experience, but one that I enjoyed enough that I actually really want to play it when it launches. So keep your eyes peeled for plenty more Beyond Victory content. And if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because there is plenty more on the way. Now, later on the same day as that Beyond Victory little play session, that was at essentially 9 in the morning. So we got in early. We spent the rest of the day just doing Star Wars Celebration stuff. And then later that day at I think 4:30 was the Reactor panel, which was probably one of the main events for me as well, because I am very, very keen for that game. So we headed over to the Reactor panel now. Shout out to Steph. If you're watching, Steph is the GOAT. She is essentially my EA point of contact, and she's become a good friend over the last few years. She got us into the panel. She pretty much like allowed us to skip the queue, so we just got like these, I guess, creator passes, and we were just guaranteed entry into that panel, which was awesome. So we went in and we all watched the panel together. It was a lot of fun. We learned a lot about that game, and like I said, with the Beyond Victory stuff, I'll do a full video on the Zero Company like news and information. Obviously it's not really news at this point because it's like a week old. I'm very behind on this stuff, but yeah, I will do a full recap of that because we learned a whole lot about that. Now, the other exciting thing was that the next morning, me and only a handful of people, it was literally Alex from Star Wars Explained, Andrew, otherwise known as Bombastic, the Twisted Jedi, myself, Split Screen, and then a few other creators I didn't know. We were the only people that got into this little chat with Greg Furch and Orion Kellogg, and we got to talk to them for pretty much 45 minutes about Zero Company. We got to ask pretty much any questions we wanted, and they answered essentially all of them. There was a few that they couldn't answer because it's just too early, but that was a really cool experience as well. They also gave us these awesome Zero Company hats as well. As you can see, the Zero on the front, and then it's got the actual logo on the side. So a big shout out to EA and to the team at Reactor for not only the chat but the hat as well. And so yeah, I'm going to do a full video not only on what we learned at the panel, but then also sort of breaking down what they told us behind closed doors as well, because like I said, this was a 45-minute chat with only about, I don't know, 7 or 8 of us in the room. So that was pretty cool. Once again, massive thank you to Steph for hooking that up. I literally 3 weeks ago didn't even know I was going to Celebration, and then I ended up getting exclusive invitations to 2 separate events for Beyond Victory and then this Reactor thing. So it was just a crazy weekend, and yeah, lots of cool stuff to talk about. Now, lastly, in terms of the gaming stuff, there was also the Fortnite announcement. They pretty much announced what was coming in that little like mini season that they're doing for, it's like a Star Wars Fortnite collab. We've seen stuff like this in the past. It's just pretty similar to the stuff they've done, and I'm not much of a Fortnite guy. I used to play back in the day, but I haven't played in years. But if you guys want to see me cover all of that, because it looks pretty fun, they've added freaking Darth Jar Jar. Like, what the hell? Like that, I kind of need to experience that, to be honest. So if you guys want to see any content on that on the channel, be sure to let me know, because I can always jump in and play a little bit of Fortnite just to try the Star Wars stuff. So let me know if you guys want to see that. But that is something else that they showed off at Celebration that I think is worth noting, because it's probably the most, I think it is the closest to launching. I think it just comes out before Pirates Fortune DLC for Outlaws. I could be wrong, but yeah. The other stuff we got, Beyond Victory and Zero Company, they're still a while away. Whereas, yeah, Fortnite, the Star Wars content is actually coming pretty soon. So let me know if you want to see that. I'll definitely jump into some Fortnite content temporarily if you guys are interested enough in that. Now, that pretty much wraps up the actual gaming news. Lastly, just to touch on my actual time at Celebration. This was my first Celebration ever, so it was an absolutely insane experience. Easily one of the best weekends of my whole life. It was just crazy being surrounded by so many Star Wars fans, and these are like diehard Star Wars fans. This is not just like Not that there's anything wrong with being a casual, obviously, but these are like not casual fans. Everyone who's at this event is like a diehard Star Wars fan. And so getting to hang around with so many people that just have so much passion and interest in the same thing that you love, that being Star Wars, that was crazy to me. There was, I think, 110,000 people there. So the fact that there was 100,000+ people that all just were there for Star Wars for 3 whole days straight, it was crazy. It was awesome, first and foremost, to get to meet some of my friends that I've had for 6 or 7 years at this point and I'd never met. So shout out Mark, otherwise known as Split Screen. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about him a lot on this channel. He's pretty much my best mate on YouTube in terms of like creators, or even just in general in the online space. And we've known each other for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years now. So getting to finally meet him was absolutely insane. Also got to finally meet Sage, who runs Star Wars Uplink. And we also do a weekly like first-person shooter podcast together that we've been doing. I think we've done over 200 episodes now. I've been doing it since 2021. So I talk to Sage literally every week for like an hour on Discord, and we never met either. So it was crazy to meet him. I got to meet, like I said, Alex from Star Wars Explained. I got to meet Azatru. There were even some of the Jedi devs there as well. Shout out Jordan if you're watching. Jordan gave me some really cool swag. You can even see it actually, the little black thing on the badge over there. He gave me a little thing. I'll put some B-roll of it. It's very, very cool. I don't know how the hell he comes up with this stuff, but yeah, got to meet Jordan, who worked on the Jedi games, and then even just hanging out with friends that I have met already. So Twisted and Bombastic, if you guys know them, I've met them a few times now. I think I've met Twisted like 5 times at this point, but he's also one of my best mates online. So awesome to hang out with him and with Andrew as well. And we pretty much all just kind of spent the whole weekend together. It was just a great experience. As you can probably see, I bought a bunch of stuff as well. I'll show some B-roll in the background, but this Darth Maul here, right there, you can see that is a Japan exclusive hot toy. I will not lie, it hurt the bank account quite a bit. I was really umming and ahhing about whether to get it, but they had a bunch of exclusive ones. They had a Vader one as well that I really wanted, but that was sold out. They also had a Stormtrooper which was sold out, but I'm actually really happy that I got the Darth Maul one because it's really unique. It's concept art from the Phantom Menace, so obviously that's not how he actually looked, but this is what he potentially was going to look like in the Phantom Menace. So I splashed a little bit of cash on that, which I do not regret at all. It makes an awesome addition to the setup in the background there, and yeah, the fact that there's only 1,000 of these in the world and I managed to pick one up is pretty cool, as well as a few other little tidbits I bought. A bunch of t-shirts and some Black Series figures as well. I got Mando and Ahsoka. Yes, I know you're not meant to take them out of the box. I don't care. I'm not reselling them, so the value doesn't matter to me. And then me and the missus went to the Pokemon store as well, because obviously big Pokemon fans, and when in Japan you have to go to a Pokemon store. So we splashed a little bit too much at the Pokemon store. I'll show a picture on screen. We may have gone overboard. This is everything we brought back from Japan, and this is not including like clothing. I bought probably 3 t-shirts at least, I think. So yeah, as you can see, we probably went a little bit overboard, but it was definitely worth it. It was great to get some keepsakes, and maybe a few too many, to be honest, but we're both big nerds and big collectors, so yeah. When you're in Japan, you kind of got to do some stuff like that. It's one of those things you never know when you're going to go back, if ever. So we thought we would spend a little bit of money and get some cool stuff while we're there. So that was pretty much it for the celebration side of it. We also went and just did some like touristy stuff in Tokyo itself. We went to the Sky Tree, which was just insane. Tokyo is just absolutely huge. I knew it was big. I didn't realize how big. You literally, at the top of the Sky Tree, you can see buildings as far as your eyes actually can see. Like, there is nothing in the distance except for buildings. One of the most insane things I've ever seen, and it really put into perspective how big Tokyo is. For those who don't understand how big Tokyo is, there are more people that live in Tokyo itself, one city, than the entirety of Australia, just for context. Like, it's absolutely massive, and I knew that going in, but until you see it from the Sky Tree, absolutely insane. So glad we went and did that. We also went to the Bandai offices where they have a bunch of like Dragon Ball Z stuff and a couple of like Digimon stuff. It was just, really, really cool to go and see that. And definitely made the most of our time. We were walking about, 25,000 steps a day, sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night. Like we did not we did not rest at all. That's probably why I'm sick at the moment. So yeah, overall phenomenal experience. If you ever get the chance to go to Japan, 100% do it. It is awesome, and I have no doubt I'll be back there at some point in my life. But that is pretty much it for the recap of everything we got from Celebration. Like I said, there will be a lot more like in-depth videos. I didn't really talk about the actual details of these games and stuff in this video, but I'm going to separate them into their own videos over the next couple of weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.